Good day, this is Kaypacha with a weekly Pele report. This is astrology for the soul. Today is September 1st of 2015, and the internet is so slow on this island you may not get this until September 2nd. But nonetheless, the planets and the stars move a little slower, so the energy that I will be discussing here is actually going on for quite some time. And even though the moon, which is now in the sign of Aries, is going to be going into Taurus by Wednesday, maybe by the time you hear this, and then into Gemini Friday, until finally it's going to be square to the sun. Yes, on Saturday, 12 degrees 32 minutes of Gemini. We know that the sun is still moving through the sign of Virgo. And then finally on Sunday, she's going to go into Cancer. Yeah, moving on and moving out. But besides the moon and what I really want to be talking about, on this report here, but I'm slightly distracted by, I don't know, can you see those cliffs down there in the river? Yeah, baby. I'm going to try to get down to that river in time for this report. But this is an amazing time, an amazing culmination of energy. I'm going to be talking about this Venus conjunct Mars, which was exact a little while ago, and now Venus on Sunday stations in the 15th degree of Leo and begins to go direct after her journey down into the roots of the underworld, which is like so powerful and significant because Black Moon Lilith, which I have always associated with the story of Inanna's descent into the underworld, is conjunct the north node of the moon. Like as I speak, it's actually exact on Friday. And Lilith is going to be traveling along together. I mean, really, she's been conjunct that node ever since she came into Libra a little while ago, and is going to be there, at least for a few more weeks. Yeah? So it's really something to have this Venus conjunct the north node of the moon in Libra with Venus and Mars, which are the rulers of the north and south nodes of the moon, coming together for this conjunction in the sign of Leo. This is all about the masculine, the feminine, the search for relationship, harmony, balance, and peace with the masculine and the feminine. We're really going to be, talking about that a little bit in the report today, and I think I have found a spot here where I can go down. I have to do a descent in order to do the Pele report. Yeah, baby. Check this out. I don't know how it's going to show up on the video, but that's the river. Let's call it the river Styx. And over here, I can show you the path that I need to take to get down there. It's a rocky, rocky path down to the river. Talk at you soon. How can we say the north node of the moon has been moving through the sign of Libra for a year and a half. Before that, it was a year and a half in Scorpio. This has been the last 3 years of our future intention as a collective, as humanity. The soul intention, is about really plummeting the depths of understanding around relationship and partnership, and that is spiritual, mental, emotional, physical union versus confrontation and battling. And when we have Venus conjunct Mars, you know, it can be heaven or it can be hell. Yes, when the masculine and feminine come together, they can compete and fight and confront and try to dominate or control one another. Yes, there can be a lack of trust, and fear can lead to, you know, separation and deep wounds and hurts and memories that we don't want to feel, don't want to remember, don't want to relive. And guess what? When our shadow, Black Moon Lilith, conjoins with the north node of the moon, right now, it's like we have to face our shadow in order to move on. It's like our shadow is now like looming right in front of our path. It's like a huge gate. and it's like each one of us now is like, you know, this is a time of facing all of our hurts, all of our wounds, everything. What is this shadow? What is this underground? It's the unconscious and it's the subconscious. And the unconscious and the subconscious is a dumping ground. Yeah? Of like, whoa, I don't want to feel that. I don't want to deal with that. Oh, I don't want to look at that. You think all these things just go away? Yeah, maybe temporarily, maybe for a little while. Maybe they're stored in the gallbladder as anger, or the adrenal glands as fear, you know, or the lungs as grief, right? But they don't just go away. They get stored in the unconscious, in the underworld, in our physical, emotional bodies. And like now is a beautiful time. It's a wonderful time. Venus goes down here into the underworld. Yes. And the story of Inanna, this descent into the underworld, is this descent into vulnerability, into chaos, into just really, it's the desire to understand the truth that drove a deeper truth. Inanna was given a mystery package, and this mystery package, in order to understand the deeper truth of it, she had to descend into the underworld. This is why we need to go down and in, is to get to the truth. The truth is our truth. The truth of our unique, original, creative self. That's why this Venus is in Leo and conjoined with this Mars in Leo. So this journey now is not just into ourself, which would be Venus and Black Moon Lilith, but now Mars is witness, right? Mars is there with Venus. They're together. And this is really super potent. This is such a potent time where it's like the sperm meeting the egg. This is a time of like, you know, combustion and passion and an opening to aha. And it's trine Uranus at the same time of this great, sudden, shocking, wow. That's the truth. That's what stopped that last relationship from completing. You know, that's why that marriage fell apart. That's why that love didn't really blossom. It's like this is such a powerful time if we are willing to really go in. And when I was going to bring a banana with me today because I really felt like, you know, this is what it's like. Just think if you're a banana. How does it feel to get peeled? You know, I was going to finish the report eating a banana, right? You know, it's just like we peel back those layers And that poor banana is just like exposed, and then what do? We eat the fucking thing. And Nana descended into the underworld, yes, and with one blow, her sister, Arishkagal, killed her and hung her on a hook on the wall, a corpse hanging there. And she had to be saved. And I mean, it's a long story. It's great I'm giving a talk tonight because this Pele report would have to be like 2 hours to really fully go into the depth of this underworld experience of surrender, of standing in the unknown, of getting out of a place of righteousness, out of a place where I need to be right in order to save face. Libra is an air sign. It can be sometimes to do with the surface and what things look like or appear to be. And this is this, this call around perfection or the perfect person or the perfect relationship. Each one of us wants to be that perfect person. And of course, each one of us wants our partner to be that perfect person. And we simply will constantly bump into situations where that is not the case. We bump into our own imperfections, and we judge ourselves as inadequate, as not up to the game, as not strong enough, or we can't forgive this, or we can't put up with this, or we can't live with this, or we can't tolerate this. This is in our energy field all the time. We can be ashamed of ourselves. We can come into situations where we are ashamed of our partner, and they're just not meeting our judgments, our standards, our desires, our needs. But the call for Libra and the shadow around Libra, or the greatest fear of Libra, is loneliness, being alone, facing this desire, this need for partnership and relationship. And we have to understand, according to evolutionary astrology, Jeffrey Wolf Green and everything, 1% of the human population is in a natural state, yes, of celibacy. 1%. And that's not many of us. Well, it's not me, that's for sure. And so, it's like the masculine seeks the feminine to fulfill its mission, to help it see itself, its power, to help it evolve, to really accomplish its mission of creation. The masculine can't create anything alone by itself. It needs the feminine. The feminine is the earth and the water, the substance. No feminine, no substance. Just like masculine vision that is like, air castles in the sky. Yeah, just like so much hot air. The masculine is air and fire. Yeah, and the feminine. Yeah, earth and water, substance. Yes, but that substance is somewhat, it's like latent. It's like, yes, the womb has those eggs, and it's like, fertile and ready, and just like, look at Mother Nature is just like, so, abundant and abundant and abundant. But it is the masculine sperm, right? It's the masculine phallus. It's the masculine that comes in and opens that feminine and penetrates that feminine and really brings that feminine into her glory, into the powerful expression of the opening of all that infinite potential within the feminine. And it's just like, Like David Data says, the masculine's the painter and the feminine is everything else. And if we want a painting, right, the feminine needs to allow that masculine to dab in the water, dip in the paint, mush up all the colors, smear all over the canvas, you know? It's like, you know, so the feminine needs to give itself to the masculine. And it needs to trust and let go of itself, yeah, into that masculine energy. And that masculine needs to be careful and gentle, yes, and in a very, you know, trustworthy way, you know, with integrity, you know, really bring that, you know, bring the feminine energy into, you know, her full splendor. So there is this balance, and this is so beautiful now. This Venus and Mars travels together now for a couple of months. And this is just like a real beautiful, fertile time to, you know, appreciate the other. And that begins by appreciating the other within ourselves. Yeah? And this is where Uranus is in Aries. And this conjunction is now happening in Leo, which is the self. And it's this inner marriage work. And it's as the feminine, you know, really contacts her inner masculine. And as the masculine contacts his inner feminine, you know, then there's not this kind of like grabby-gurdy, you know, needy, dependent, you know, all kinds of projection and fantasy and imagination and, like, you know, illusions cast, projected upon the other out there, yeah? But rather what happens is, as we become more aware of our inner animus or anima, what we do is we find that we attract a more fitting screen for our projections, you know? It's like, so, you know, we can really, rather than, you know, project my Venus in Leo, you know, I can attract a Leonian, you know, partner, so that at least when I project my Leonian Venus, you know, it matches my Leonian partner. You know, I mean, not to say that, you know, you just get together with, you know, the partner that has, you know, it's more complex than simply Venus and Mars. You need to, I have Venus conjunct Pluto, so, you know, I also need a little Pluto partner in there too. And then I have Aquarius on the 7th house, so I need a little Aquarius in that Pluto-Venus. But I mean, you know, it's like, astrology goes on and on and on. And I could go on and on and on, but, you know, this is just a Pele report. So, the mantra. Yeah, that'll give me something to talk about, because this is really something. How's it going again? Oh, yes. Damn. How embarrassing. I have to be vulnerable here, you know. Forgiveness is understanding that I may never know why we hurt each other, or which of us needs to grow. This descent that is necessary now, over the next few weeks, if you're not already halfway in the underworld, you know, or maybe you've been in there for a little while now and you need to stew in it for a little while and bring up. It could be childhood, it could be past lives, it could be last month, yeah? Bring up, yeah, what made you angry. Get in touch with, you know, because underneath anger lies what has been suppressed, denied, or avoided And it's the anger that's the scalpel opening up that wound so that it can be healed. And the sun is opposite Chiron here for the next couple of weeks. And this is just like a super healing time. And it's more the more you can be a banana, right? The more you can stand in that place of not knowing. I don't know if it was your fault, if it was my fault, or why I hurt you, or when I didn't want to, or why you hurt me, if it was conscious or unconscious. There's just like so many dynamics in all of our relationships because they are so much driven by our unconscious that we may never know these things. And so we guess. And our fear creates paranoia. And we start pointing fingers or blaming because we don't want to own that maybe it's our fault, or that I was wrong or bad, or we don't want to be ashamed of ourselves. We don't want to feel bad about ourselves. So we find something that the other person did, and we try to get back to who started it, where did it start, and then it goes blah, 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 blah. But this is just like a time where it's possible to just let it all unravel and just stand in that place of inquiry. Stand in that place, or sit in that place of not knowing, not needing to know, not needing to justify or explain or blame or fix. Just be in it. This is the underworld of feeling, and it is chaos. And this is where the truth lies. This is where a deeper truth, where we allow truth to emerge, rather than ego, intellect trying to impress or explain away. We witness ourself, witness our feeling. Some of that is in dreams, or some of it's reliving it, and some of it may be picking up the phone and, reconnecting. Some of it may, blah, 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 blah. There's many different ways. It can be astral or physical. But really, this is just like dredging up, digging up, because that is what we need to do in order to get farther down the river. It's like we get snagged on a rock, snagged on the rapids of life. We make a rash, impulsive, unconscious choice or decision, and it hangs us up and hangs us up and hangs us up until we kind of like go back and dislodge ourselves so that we can really flow free again. So, yeah, I don't know what, words. It just goes on and on. Forgiveness is understanding that I may never know why we hurt each other, or which of us needs to grow. Obviously, both of us, or all of us, needs to grow. But, you want to, don't answer the question. You're supposed to just stay there, in the question. Namaste. Aloha. So much love.